Trader True Trading Group, October 31st. Happy Halloween. Goodbye, October. Hello, November tomorrow. We are back on track with an A-plus setup. If you guys have, if you saw my video from yesterday, you know that I've been in a little bit of a rut the past couple of days. I had 3 red days in a row, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week. Very uncharacteristic for me. It hasn't happened in a long time to have 3 red days in a row. But nonetheless, it happened. So in my video yesterday, I talked about how I was going to be very selective, I was going to be very patient, disciplined, and I was going to cut back on my position size just to protect myself. If I continue to trade poorly and I continue to be in a funk, I want to protect and reduce my risk to the downside. And also reducing my size can help keep my emotions out of it, because when you're in a little bit of a funk, that's when your emotions can really start to play with you a little bit. So to help keep the emotions out of things, reduce my size a little bit today. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I went right back to basics and my favorite pattern, which I call the TTG triangle. And it's my favorite pattern. It's the pattern I teach to all of our TTG members to look for it on a daily basis. And this was an absolute A-plus setup in JNUG. A-plus, A-plus to get me back on track. 1 trade for me today. That's all it took. You know, I made a really good trade on this JNUG. I got really good extension, good follow through. I was real happy with the day. You know, ended the little red streak that I had there, finished the month strong. October's been a great month prior to these last 3 days where I was in a little bit of a rut, but ending the month strong with a nice trade here in JNUG, I couldn't be happier. And after that, I said, that's it. My goal today was just to be green. Okay, I'm not trying to make back what I lost the last couple of days. My goal was just to be green, and I ended up pulling out a really nice green day to close out the month. All right, so let's get to this JNUG chart. Let's go over this setup. It's a damn good one. It's a TTG triangle mixed in with what a trade line VWAP crossover. I mean, this is A+, guys. So let's just kind of get right to it. So here's JNUG. We had this little gap up here today, pulled it in off the bell, and then broke through the initial morning high. Okay, when we broke through the initial morning high, I'll make this a little bit bigger. You guys can see increase in trading volume when we broke through the initial morning high. So that is a good sign, right? That's a good sign. Now we circle the initial, let's circle the initial morning high. There it is. Now let's draw out our Fibonacci retracement levels. Remember, because of the gap up, we're going to start from yesterday's close. And we go from yesterday's close up to now the new high of the day. And what do we notice? That the 23.6 Fibonacci level lines up dead even with the initial morning high. After you can see we broke through that high, you can see we start to have this little bit of a pullback. Notice the volume on the pullback. Okay? Notice the volume on the pullback compared to the volume on the break through the high of the day. That is the exact volume that you want to see on a TTG triangle pattern. An increase in volume through the initial morning high, decreasing volume on the pullback to retest that high, and then an increase in volume once again once you get back off of that level. Let's go back to the chart. Here you guys can see descending trend line as the stock makes lower highs, bouncing off of that initial morning high, and we have the trade line and VWAP also sitting here to give us a trade line VWAP crossover to take us up and out of the TTG triangle pattern. So here is your TTG triangle. Again, initial morning high. We broke through it with an increase in volume. Guys, there's an entire course in the TTG curriculum, so on the website for members, obviously. But there's an entire course that just talks about the TTG triangle and this pattern. So what I'm kind of breaking down for you now is kind of the basics of this pattern, but it really is my favorite pattern. I think it's probably it allows for such tremendous risk reward, and you know the percentage, the probability of the trade working out is so high. It's such a consistent pattern. That's why it's one of my favorites. If not, it is my favorite. Is the favorite. Okay. So here you guys can see descending trend line against these lower highs, the lower volume. Let me put the volume back up. So decreasing volume. Okay, after the increase through the high, that increase in the volume through the initial morning high is crucial. The stronger the volume through the initial morning high, the greater chance of that initial morning high acting as support. So when you get an increase in volume through the high like that, and you get this low volume pullback, That low volume just tells you that there's profit taking on that pullback. It's not aggressive selling pressure. It's just profit taking on that pullback. That's why the volume is light on the pullback. That's exactly what you want to see. So on this candle right here, guys, I got long JNUG. Take yes, my trade announcements. Okay, 67.10. I don't know why my thing won't zoom. All right. My screen won't. I was trying to zoom it in so you guys can see better, but my zoom is not working. All right. So you guys can see JNUG long at 67.10, stop loss 66.40. All right. So low risk on the trade. There's the entry point. And like I said, you've got the 23.6 fib level, the initial morning high, VWAP, and the trade line all converging on that same price point to give me confidence in that support level. And that's why I pulled the trigger. And then we broke up and out of the triangle. So once you break up and out of this descending trend line, that gets you up and out of the triangle. And again, when that happens, you want to see an increase in volume. And once again, there we have it. Okay, so you had increase in volume through the high of the day, decreasing volume on the pullback, increasing volume out of the triangle, and that's your key that we're going to get some good continuation. And I'll take you guys back to the chart. And my first take profit, again, I was being very conservative today. I just wanted to book a green day. So you guys can see here, took some profit off at 67.80 when we made a new high of the day. Okay, waited for that trade line to catch up because now we got a trade line VWAP crossover right here. You look to see if that trade line acts as support. And once the trade line caught up, it pushed JNUG up through the high of the day. Took the bulk of my position off the table right there at 68.30. Okay, so I sold 25% of the position at 67.80, half the position at 68.30. And then I just rode this trade line. You can see how the trade line really just came into play here. Let me zoom this in so you guys can see it more clearly. Okay, see how this trade line, see here's the support at the trade line. Look how beautifully the stock just held and hugged this trade line. And then we extended higher, and as we got up, we got over 69. And right there was my final take profit. Here it is, guys, it's 69.19 for my final take profit on JNUG. It was a real thing of beauty. Beautiful TTG triangle pattern, beautiful tier trading strategy, keeping me in the winning trade longer, tiering out as I go. Was a solid trade, and it was my only trade of the day. Got myself back on track, booked a nice green day, finished the week, not just the week, no, well, not the week. We have one more day left in the week, excuse me, but finished the month strong. Why was that my final take profit? Let's break this down. Let's go over to this area. This 69.50 area was going to be my final take because of this previous pivot high. Okay, and it also lines up perfectly with the 50-day moving average. Okay, so there's your 50-day moving average, and there's your previous pivot high, and that's why I wanted to get flat in front of that level, expecting there to be some resistance there. It looks like JNUG may continue higher, though, and may really get through this and may get up into the 70s. You guys remember we had a swing trade. I got long JNUG for a swing trade. If you follow my channel and you saw that video, I got long JNUG here at 54.75, and we got flat right up here at 67.20. Okay, and then now got long it again today, so I was able to catch this move here, which makes me happy because when we broke through, you know, it's almost like I held on to the, you know, it's better than actually if I just held on to the swing the entire time, because I sold up here and then bought back in. Actually, it's 10-cent difference. It's a 10-cent difference, honestly, because I got in today at 67.10. I got out on this day at 67.20. So it, you know, makes me feel good that it's almost like I never sold. Okay, it's almost like I really never sold. So it was a good trade, and I think we're going to go higher here. I think JNUG has a chance now to get up and test 80. So this will remain. It had a strong close today. Okay, we finished strong, and we're trading up here new highs after the bell. So this will still remain on my watch list, and I think maybe JNUG's got a chance to get to 80. But the real takeaway from this video, guys, is the fact that, you know, when I was in a rut, I went back to, you know, the basics, stuck to my game plan, reduced my size a little bit, went after a TG triangle pattern. My favorite pattern was an A+ setup. I didn't mess around today, trying to make back everything that I lost the last couple days. I just wanted to be green, and in doing so, I'm able to nail a really nice trade on JNUG. So I'll see you guys in chat tomorrow. We'll finish the week off strong, and we'll say hello to the first day of November. Take care.